Last Christmas.
Oké, gas.
Die echo's. Sta je op camera?
Nee.
Welcome, everybody. It's Christmas time.
Woo!
Ho, ho, ho.
Welcome to this AMA where we have not one, not two, not three people of Vertical, but 5 colleagues joining. So, welcome to this Christmas special, everybody. How's everybody doing? Is everybody feeling the holiday vibes, the Christmas vibes?
Yeah, definitely. I just need to.
Ja, links.
No, bro.
Technical issues right here.
Is
This is just the 100th time you've been doing it, Mark, but still technical issues there.
Is there an echo?
No, it's right now. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Well, just need to fix my background. Look at this. Oh.
There's an echo.
What's wrong? Say something again.
Hello?
Okay. Wil je oortje?
Sorry, guys. Let's just jump in. So, welcome to this AMA, this Christmas special. As you see, we've been joined by Friso, our COO, Mac, our CTO, Laurens, our head of strategy, and of course, the one and only Mark, CEO. During this Christmas special today.
Je telefoon, bro. Sowieso als je microfoon.
Okay, it's working.
Sorry, guys. Sorry for the delay. So during this Christmas special, we will be. Okay, guys, we will be right back. All right, guys, let's try again.
I think right now everything should be fine, guys. We had the Java set up last time. It worked perfectly, but for some reason it failed us right at the moment when we needed it the most. So apologies for this, but luckily we do not give up. We have fixed the issue and we are here to do this Christmas special for you guys with the whole core team in the picture. Frizo is joining in a second. But guys, today is going to be a very just laid back EMA where we are going to be looking back at the last year. You know, some achievements that we've made, obviously also maybe some funny stories that we have. And also, of course, to round this year up, a few into 2026, where we are heading, where we are going, what our ambitions are, and what you can expect from the team in 2026. So, guys, I would say grab yourself a cup of hot chocolate. You know, sit back. If you have any anecdotes that you want to share as well from the past year, if you've been around for so long, feel free to share them in the chat, and we will, you know, tell them here for everyone to hear as well. And for the rest, you know, I think Hidde, you prepared something for today. Some questions. What
Well,
was it again?
thank you for the introduction, Mark, to this AMA. So yeah, indeed, we'll during this AMA we'll reflect a little bit. I'm going to give everybody the chance to share some learning, share some highs, but also look into the future of vertical, because the past year has been exciting. It has been extremely busy for all of us. We've done a ton of things, and I think it's nice, to do a little high over year in review. So, first of all, I just want to know: do you guys, starting from the front, right? The token launch, for instance, Mark. I think you have a really nice story about how that almost, failed to happen on the exact date. So, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
This was, what is it, last year, November. Oh man, you guys have no idea. I was in Curacao, right? I flew over to start the company and I was, on the island preparing for the launch, something that we've been preparing for weeks before we were doing it. I had this whole execution plan with, all the function of the contract, which I needed to trigger at which moment after launching and blah, blah, blah. We prepared it phenomenally well in the greatest details. And I was sitting in my apartment back then, waiting, a few hours before we were launching, and suddenly, internet gone. And I was looking at the router, I was looking at whatever, nothing was working. And I walked outside, and apparently, like a big truck had pulled the internet cable, that was above the road, down, and it was laying on the ground, shucking around. So the whole street did not have any internet. And obviously the launch was, I think, maybe 2.5 hours away. And I was stressing like a crazy dude. Luckily, I was already preparing our headquarter office very close by. And I grabbed all my stuff, right, and I ran to that office, and it was totally not finished yet. But I sat somewhere in the corner. We had internet over there, and I was sitting there in this chair with this little table, and we managed to get through during the launch. But that was a very stressful moment where it's almost we didn't launch vertical at that specific date. And what would have happened if we didn't do it at that moment? What would have happened if I didn't go through? Would we be sitting over here? Probably yes. But yeah, those kind of things happen behind the scene, guys. A lot of stressful moments. Things can go wrong, but we always push through.
And indeed, we pushed through, and indeed, what a ride it has been in the token side, right? The past year.
Yeah, the token side was pretty crazy, yeah. I do have
So-
one funny
so
story
Frizo,
that
yeah.
follows up on that, but it's maybe it's another maybe I don't know optimistic mistake that we made, but it's also a funny story, I guess. We launched the token, and I was working at Vertical for probably a month or two, and at that stage, obviously the crypto conferences were getting a bit more popular again. And we heard in the grapevines that Ethereum Denver was the place to go if you were building on Ethereum. And having launched our VerdiEye token as an ERC20 token, we decided that also for us it was essential to go and see that conference. So noobs as we were, we bought tickets to the main event. Of course, flew into Colorado, wet hands, sweaty balls, going into that conference. Didn't know what to expect, how many investors to meet, the amount of projects that we would have to convince that we also had a place there at Ethereum Denver. And then we walked into the main conference, and then there was absolutely zero people, and there was no one except for us. So we were asking around, like, guys, where the hell is everybody? Yeah, well, it's Monday today, and the conference starts today on Monday, but most people actually are coming in at Wednesday. So we were already a bit confused, like, why is this hacky techy conference, presenting 100,000 visitors every year, absolutely empty? But we figured out that crypto conferences are not about the main event. They're actually about the side events. So having not planned any of those, we had some work to do that day. And I think we ended up sitting in a cafe, re-strategizing our Denver trip, licking our wounds, but then finally meeting people that took us by the hand and showed us the way on these conferences. And we met many people on a variety of side events after that, and ended up organizing our own later down the year as a learning that side events are where the moat is and the meat is. So I guess from my end, that Denver story was pretty funny, I guess.
But I like that you say that, because we did caught up on the end, right? On the first, I remember exactly just like you. We walked into that stadium and it was completely empty with one guy in a unicorn suit walking
Yeah.
around there. And it
Scanning
was
your
so
phone.
underwhelming.
That
And
was
then I
Vitalik.
talked to some of the other guys, who've been in with their projects that have been around for even longer, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm at eDenver as well," and I said, like, okay, where are you? And I told him, like, I'm at the main event, and he's like,
Main
the
stage.
main event? Who the hell goes to the main event? I don't
Yeah.
even have tickets, right? So
we flew off across the world for that event, but it was underwhelming, and then I think overwhelming after all, because we had a really fun side event at Akash that really helped us connect with a lot of people in the space afterwards.
Definitely.
I don't know. I think in general, the ETH Denver for me was setting us up for our first connections really in the Web3 space after launch, basically. So launch partners, and really they helped us grow a lot, at least on the Web3 side in the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think so too. And it also depends on with what intention you come there, right? Because if you like, what we wanted to build was pretty straightforward to us. We like that event made more sense if we really wanted to get inspired on the tech side, whereas for us that was a clear road, and we were just looking for partners, building community, getting investments in. So then if you go to like the token, for example, then it makes way more sense to go to the main event. But yeah, in the end, side events is where the cool stuff happens.
That's where the money
great
is.
lessons.
That's why we organized it in Dubai ourselves.
Yeah.
And what a great event that was. And also Singapore, don't forget that, right? It was a smaller event, but the quality of people was also very high in Singapore.
Yeah.
So a lot of learnings on the Web3 side, a lot of nice experiences, a lot of new people met. But of course, we are also an AI company, and also in our software and in our product, we've had a pretty wild ride, right, Mac? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was a very wild ride, you can say that for sure. Actually, I think 1.5 years ago, Mark called me with this crazy idea to set up a crypto coin. I was in the crypto space as well, and I was a developer. I knew AI, I played with it, but I wasn't preparing to build on AI basically. But Manuk called me and he said, I have this crazy idea. We have to set up our own coin and launch our own coin. And basically I said yes, although I was pretty skeptical, but I said yes. I like the adventure. I like how Mark was in it. So, but I've prepared something, a bit of a timeline, basically of our technical roadmap, but also of some of the stats of this last year. So I'll put up my ugly presentation, my Christmas presentation.
Let's
One
see if I can get it up on the screen
can go through it real quick.
for it. Let's see.
So first of all, Merry Christmas, everyone, from my side, from the first.
Merry Christmas.
But yeah, I think it was November 12th, Mark, then when we launched the token. You already told it was a crazy ride. You actually had to manually do these scripts all by yourself. We were on a call with Dex, our advisory, and yeah, the internet was down. Then we put on the wrong name. We had an extra dollar in front of Third AI, but it was exciting. It was very exciting. One of the most exciting days, actually, of my technical career, as a developer. This was, I think, our branding. 1 hour to the launch, and we're live. And then it happened, basically. So, we went sky high in January, and we launched our first vertical stream in December, 11 December. It was with our developers from Ukraine as well. We had a different kind of team. I was CTO back then. I only had like a outsourced developer team. But we still made nice progress. We built our first version of the stream, and it was actually pretty nice. We could talk with an AI model that talked like a pirate, so that was very impressive. And also
Fine-tuned.
Sorry?
It was completely fine-tuned.
Completely fine-tuned, but still,
It was funny if you think about it. Back in those days, you were still, if you were lucky, you had access to GPT-4.
Yeah.
Probably, you know, like I don't think even that stuff was like 3.0 wasn't there.
No,
Or
nothing. But also the image.
3.5 was released, but 4 wasn't there yet.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So how fast this AI market has moved.
It's
like
it's
crazy.
Been so fast.
We were fine tuning back then, yeah. So we made this pirate model and there was another model, right? Like this.
I made a pirate model,
meme token generator.
A meme token generator, actually.
The bullish tweet generator.
Correct. I was fine-tuning all those things by hand from the CLI with all these data sets that I was a hacky-tacky trying to create, and fine-tuning all these models. And actually, it was working. It was pretty nice, but it was just the start.
Yeah. And we had the vertical marketplace where people would eventually create their own models and use their own models, and it worked very nicely. And back in the day, it was impressive. Then we had, I think, some very big feature. We had this staking feature, of course, which is still live, and yeah, we will build upon it as well. But that was on January 15. It was our very big first feature also in the Web3 space, built with our partner Solid Proof. So yeah, that was quite a big feature, and everybody was hyped a little bit.
I think we did a $10,000 competition at some point, or like a $5,000 competition, just by staking.
We ran $5,000 competitions every month, bro.
Yeah,
I know, but we had to stop because the lawyer said it was considered gambling at some point, right? It was
yeah, that was great.
That is also an interesting story, I think, as well, right? Because entering into this space, trying to do everything, on the compliant and the legit way, really trying to build, a business within with a utility token integrated into that business case. You really need to explore what can we do, what can we not do, and we really discovered that a lot of things that maybe felt normal because other projects were doing it, the only reason they were able to do those kind of things was because the developer was just an anode, right? Nobody knew who the team was, so they could do fuck all. But because we were out there trying to build a real business, registering, we suddenly had to become compliant and had to move, within the gray areas of the law. And this was one of the first, let's say, hit on the fingers of our lawyers, like, stop doing this ASAP.
Yeah. It's also because it's difficult, right? So when you launch a product that has basically no borders, then you need to take into account all the legal borders that exist, and I think that's really it makes it very complex to adhere to all the rules, of course. So it gives you a free pass to basically focus on those rules that you feel you're breaking most common, right? But then I don't know, there's so many rules on discounts and vouchers and doing these competitions. I don't know, like I remember, Mark, like after we spoke and we decided we were gonna work together and build this together. I think my second meeting after that was with a lawyer to make sure that we could actually do this in a legal way. That wouldn't hurt us in the long term, right? Well, I think also that really marks this period for me, that January February period. I think Lawrence, you joined by that time, and we really already took direction towards becoming MiCAR compliant as one of the first tokens in the space, because we knew that this compliance stuff is going to come back and bite us in the ass if we don't do it now. It's probably easier to do it while building than to put your company basically and restructure it just to make sure you can adhere to the law. So I think it was a good move, but it took you a lot of effort.
Yeah, I think it was I think my first 3 meetings with this team were pretty much 3-hour sessions with our lawyers and setting up, like not only the Web3 side of things, but also the Web2 side of things. I think like only the Web3 compliancy, that's already almost a full-time job for a couple months. And then we're also, besides becoming MiCAR compliant, which I think it was a really good move from us, we were one of the first that gave us like complete freedom, right? It's so good for us that we don't have to look back at over our shoulder at things that we did not approach meticulously. That's just things that we set up pretty well for ourselves. And then besides doing all the MiCAR compliancy, we also had to look at, consumer law and like the EU AI Act, and just making sure that we have a Web3 company that addresses all the rules and a Web2 company that addresses the rules. And that is an ongoing process, but I'm personally really satisfied that is something we started early on with, because nowadays, it still takes us quite some effort every month, but since we started doing it properly from the beginning, it's not this big burning iron that's hanging over our head, but it's just regular tasks that we update and that we make sure that that we basically secure ourselves for existing in the future without having to worry about whatever regulation. So I think, Friso, it was a really clever move from you to already set that up right the moment you started at Vertical.
Yeah, sometimes you got to start with the things you like the least, and then get it out of the way so you can focus on the things that you do enjoy. But it was good to be able to do this together, and also I think we were just really lucky to have someone in our network that is so well known in the space, especially on the MiCAR compliance side, when it was pretty new for many people. So I think we were able to be put on top of the pile. I think they were helping us, I don't know, very, very structured and carefully, whilst learning themselves also how the AFM and sort of authorities would look at these things. But we learned a bunch of stuff. And then I think we got pretty close to then launching a stream that was not just a pirate model, right, Mac?
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure what date it was, but we launched with the stream, new version of the stream, I think.
Yeah, mid-Feb.
Sorry?
I think the 15th of February, when I remember.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was like the new version, a new UI update, a bit more smoother UI, of course. I think it was actually a great improvement from the first version. Also because we had our first in-house tech team, of course. So we ditched our external team and got developers in-house. So some senior developers, and they are still with us now. We got our first internal tech team, which is very nice, from February. And of course, Friso, Hidde, Lawrence were joining as well. So the team was growing, actually. If you go to the presentation, Hidde, this is a picture, I think, in January somewhere, when Hidde and Lawrence and Friso also just joined. And then in May we went to Dubai with the whole team. I think we were of 12, and that was not even the whole team. And
Yeah, we were missing Kevin, David, Roy.
yeah, but yeah, this is a team picture. But yeah, we were
Mhm.
actually we with a lot of people, and yeah, Dubai was amazing. This was on our side event, and we actually have a reputation now of organizing the best side events, both in Dubai. We had an amazing one, AI on the Rocks, and also in Singapore. But yeah, that's the organization hit aside. I think and that's what went well.
Yeah, that was a big success. That was amazing. I don't know if anybody who's watching was there, but I think if you ask anybody who was there, they said it was the best of Dubai.
True. No, definitely.
It was really fun.
So,
And I hope the market turns green again, and we can all celebrate another event in May, Dubai 2026.
Yeah, well, probably that's what we're aiming for, right?
Definitely.
Mhm.
Definitely.
So,
Okay.
So
go
Mac,
on, guys. I'm not sure if we want to go on, but actually, I also have this January 2025 and now of our website, which is basically there was our first website in December, and now we have launched this website in July, which is a way bigger improvement. And this is the first designs of the stream, also around December or January 2025, and then. This is it now, the vertical stream version 2, a full AI aggregator, not only with text models, but also with image, video. Everybody should use it. It's amazing, actually. And I'm very proud of the product that we've built. It's basically a creation of all the knowledge that we gathered this last year. And yeah, it's very nice, and it will be nicer even in the future.
And let's not forget that we also, at this stage, I don't think anybody was paying anything for using the platform. I think we were in learn mode still.
Yeah.
So we had everything open. I think also because of the fact there was no video generation and there was just a little bit of image generation at that time, people weren't able to consume like very millions and millions amount of tokens with web search and deep research and video gen workflows, whatever.
Yeah.
I think obviously we did figure out that they could after the video models got introduced, and we were excited to launch them as well. I remember Mac, we had one in the backend for a long time that we were able to use in a sort of our own environment, but that we didn't open up for users anymore because they were just going absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And I think that's when we launched, I think, our credit system, right? Our first credit system, whereby we wanted to go into a paying model. And we launched a credit system because we saw opportunity being one of the first and only at that point to do usage-based AI, so where you could actually buy a single prompt instead of a whole subscription. So we thought really that would make a difference, and we did see people that would just come in, buy $1 packs basically, and generate a couple images and leave. So I think it was an interesting approach, whereby there was also the first time that we allowed VertAI as a utility for our token to be used as a payment, right? Whereby users would get discount when they paid in VertAI, which I think initially was a really interesting approach that we've obviously continued as well, where right now you can still buy credit packs with VertAI if you want to, and the staking mechanism that gives you credits, I think is a bit of a differentiated model from that. But thinking about all the ideas that we came up with and that we tried out, and we cherry picked basically the things that worked and killed the things that didn't. It's funny to see right now.
Yeah, that's basically the result right now. So we had this amazing credit system also already in July 28 we launched. But now, it's simplified, and I think that's basically the key of the stream right now is that it's simplified. The pricing system is simplified. The way it works, you interact only in one chat, using all the models you want. So I think it's a big improvement, and we'll keep improving.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I think that also is really like the end result of our learnings, right? Because what you just say, Friso, is that what really defines these teams is that there is new ideas coming in every day, every week. Like every Monday meeting, we would have an idea for a new cool feature. And in the beginning, we tried to basically always work out all the IDs, right? Which made us get like all different sorts of, you know, corners or agents on our platform, or like we started working on so much side hustles. And I think that now the one thing that it really shows how we matured is that we now have like two main focus products where we put in all the effort, and we really try to, any ID that comes in, really put that through a funnel, and make sure that we build a portfolio that actually creates value for us as a company, but also for our token economy. And I think that's really that shows a big learning journey that we went through as a company, and still something that's challenging for us, because this guy, like, if you talk to Mac, he has like the best IDs for features every week. Even today we had some fun stuff, but it's really good that we learned how to focus.
So this is part of like a maturing company, right? You start at a startup. It starts with one person, and eventually you grow. So, Mark, how did you experience this? Right, growing from like a one person army to like a how big are we? I don't know. You have the current numbers, but to like a full size big company. You know, developing, working like a big company. You know, this also allow us. Maybe you can also add on after Mark on, you know, the structuring of this kind of company.
Yeah, so I started out with this, right? I was formulating the ID, and there was one person that was with me all the way back in the trenches when I, was a DJ myself, and when I was working at this real estate developer as an AI expert. Obviously, our community manager Don Correleon was there first, right? And the funny thing is that I planned to launch Vertical way earlier, like 6 to 8 months or something. The thing was, though, is that back then we entered into a bear market, and I just was like, this is not a great moment to launch a token. So in the meantime, I was constantly fine-tuning and working on the concept, making it more perfect, researching what is out there, what we could use. And, I was really mainly by myself, once in a while calling with some engineers, how can I approach this the best? How can I approach that the best? Luckily, I had a good friend of mine in Italy, Eugenio, that could really bring me, on speed on everything that was happening in the AI space to really formalize like the initial concepts. But I was doing obviously 95% of the work, besides obviously the community, myself. And I was fortunate enough that Mac was willing to take the leap with me, without getting paid, in the hope that we were able to get a treasury where we could make our dreams come true. And I have to say, I think that is probably the biggest achievement that I've ever done in my life, and that is gathering so many great, smart people around me that are all motivated day in, day out, no matter what the market does, to put our heads together and to brainstorm, where are we going? What features do we need to build that will increase our revenue, and what will make our products better for the user? All those kind of things, right? I think I'm super fortunate that the token was such a success at start, that I was able to onboard all these great people. But I have to say, right, like with growing teams, obviously you can delegate, but also responsibility becomes a big thing. Right, you wanna continue with everybody. You got to make sure that the revenue actually comes in, because people are dependent on you right now, right? And we did hit a wall, I think, a few months ago, where I did realize that we might have hired too many people, where I was more spending time on managing everyone, what they were doing, instead of actually, trying to think how we can move forward. So the funny thing is that we actually removed a few people from the team, like, I don't know, like 3 months ago, and we had less people, but we are now more effective. So I really realized that more people doesn't per se equal more, outputs or efficiency. Actually, keeping the team smaller and efficient with very great people that are super smart in what they do, and just making sure that you give ownership to the right people and keep them responsible, is probably the best thing you can do within a team. And obviously, I was super fortunate enough with Lawrence that came from the whole consultancy, Big Four company. So he brought in very high quality project management skills, which for me, I can create the idea. I can get everyone to work, but the moment that the ball goes spinning, I'm a bit of chaotic. So how luckily Lawrence was there to say, well, if you create the idea, I just make sure it comes to a success, and you just do what you do, and I just keep doing what I do. So in that instance, like I said, right, and the same goes for Hidden. Like I was spending most of my time at marketing the first, I think, 1.5, 2 months. And I think there's nobody in this team that freed up time for me to do work where I'm actually good at, and that is Hidden. So that was actually a big relief for me. And obviously, releasing the operational things on the back, knowing that all the details are taken into consideration while I'm running around and talking in the meetings. And I think I couldn't wish a better person that is more trustworthy and more analytic than Friso to handle that all. And obviously, my cowboy partner, Mac, that managed to bring all the crazy ideas to life. So again, like I said, right, I think that was for me. It's the most thing that I'm most fortunate for, that I have such great people around me. And let's fucking make it happen, right? I mean, we're going forward, we're progressing. Market might be a little bit rough, we can deny that, but just know that at this moment, I think our organization is operating in the most effective and strategic and impactful behind the scene like never before. And I think that is just a pity that the market is not recognizing that at the moment, because it's dry, right? We all know what is going on. But just know one thing, guys, we are not leaving. We are still here. 2025 was an amazing year, but we are going to bring our expertise into 2026. And 2026 is even going to be a bigger banger. We have so much things up our sleeves. We have so much things prepared. Our strategy that we've set out with the roadmap and everything, I think we're going to blow everyone away when we're going to be doing, multiple $10 million revenues per month, what we're striving for. And, all the money that we have soon that we can invest back into our token economy.
So,
We're going like an animal.
If you need to choose one big goal mark for 2026 for Vertical, what will it be?
I think the biggest goal would be to make sure that we have a product market fit that is, that makes our company fully profitable, right? We've released our first product about 7 months ago, or 9 months ago, which obviously was a shitty version of the Stream. We just released the Stream V2, which we see, we soft launched it and we already see subscriptions coming in. So the moment that the marketing machine goes on, I truly believe that revenue is going to increase dramatically. And then obviously with everything that's going on in the studio, I feel very confident that in Q1 2026, we are going to, let's say, my target is to become, let's say, at least break even in Q1 2026. And make sure that 2026 is all going to be about, becoming profitable, attracting capital, investing in the token economy, and making sure that we become a giant in this space. 2025 was research and development, figuring out how to efficiently operate together. And 2026 is going to be leveraging that foundation that we've built in 2025 to build a company, that is profitable, growing, expanding, and putting his footprint further down into multiple markets, and making sure that everyone knows Vertical. And that's what I want to do. I want to amplify the brand Vertical. I want to make sure that we are known for, high quality, high performance products and guys that take things seriously and don't mess around. If we say we're going to do something, if we say it, we do it, and we make it big.
Great.
Yes.
Really well said, Mark. I don't know if anybody wants to to add on that, on their specific goal, their personal goal, maybe for the coming year. Maybe Mac, you've what you said, from when you started at Vertical, you had no idea, about the AI space, about coding in AI. You learned a lot along the way. Now you built
Yeah, I was
amazing
just
projects. So, what are your goals for, maybe your personal goal for the next year on this side?
my personal goal for the next year, well, making a product that is profitable and working without any errors, working with a very nice user interface. Basically, even a better version of the stream, but then in the studio. And yeah, basically the same as Mark has, right? I want to be a profitable company, and I think we all do. I learned so much this year. I think this year I learned the most of all my academic years before that. So yeah, with that knowledge, I think we can create a very nice product. Some of the learning points also I had in the presentation were we had tech above business last year sometimes, and we need to have business above tech. So start with a business plan and the right ICP. Find a use case that you need to solve, and then start building instead of building cool stuff, which we did. We built a lot of cool stuff, but maybe it wasn't the right product market fit, right? And yeah, we're here for the long term as well, guys. So not we don't focus on, anymore on the hype or short term. We're here for long term, and I think being consistent is very important. And also, one thing I've learned is saying no, because these guys over here have the best ideas, many good ideas, but sometimes it is out of our reach.
Most of them are still shit, eh? No, I'm kidding.
Sorry?
No, so many good ideas, but most of them end up being pretty shit. No, I'm kidding. I think we had some cool ideas, and I think also we've made a lot of those happen.
And we have some things that are being built right now. We'll share a little bit more later on. But this is going to be super cool. Mac.
There's an
echo.
But for sure, we loved making Mac's life miserable this year by all the land roll work coming in. Like, dude, I have the best idea ever. Mac, let's make it. And then Mac is, too nice of a guy that he's actually telling the tech team, okay, guys, if we got some spare time or in the weekend, let's also build this feature, even though it didn't have much to do.
I love to do this,
but you're also guilty of that yourself, right? Because sometimes, Mac, you would come into the Monday morning and you'd be like, hey guys, look what I've built over the weekend.
Yeah, true. No, I am guilty as well. So, yeah. But I've learned to say no right now, so I think that's going to be a big plus in 2026, and it's going to be big. I think it's going to be a big year for us.
It's going to be a huge year, bro. And the Vertical brand is going to expand.
Definitely.
Bigger than ever.
So, yeah, guys, I don't know if anybody has one more thing they would like to share. If not, maybe we can have a look at our community at X, see if there's any, questions or any, stories people would like to share. So in the meantime, post your questions in our Telegram community on X, anywhere you would like, and we can or discuss them or share the story with you guys live on air.
Well, I think maybe before we go to the questions, I think this is also a great opportunity to, thank you guys for being with us for over a year. I think today we looked, it's a year and 30 days or 30, like it's more than a year that you guys been sticking with us. And, the community has been so valuable for us. I think that if people ask us like, what's the best thing about the token? There's like a bunch of things that you can name, but I think the most important thing is that you immediately have a group of people who are invested with what you do, give you feedback, are interested in your features. And I think, granted, maybe in the beginning, even, especially during the hype time, not everyone is there because they are that interested in what we do, but you see that when all dust settles, that there is such a strong core community that is so active also in all the groups and the socials, and that's just such a great help to us. So we're really thankful for you guys being here on this journey, and we want to also keep continuing bringing cool stuff out for you guys, because in the end that's so important to us. So thank you guys.
Definitely well said, Laurens.
Extremely well said. Jesus. You made me cry there a little bit, man.
Yeah, I'm also a little bit emotional.
So yeah, guys, I don't see any questions or stories coming in, but that was also not the goal of this AMA, right? The goal of this AMA was to reflect a little bit on the past year, to look forward, our goals. We will be sharing a lot more on our plans the coming year, across all of our socials the coming weeks. We won't be having the AMA coming Wednesday. This was the replacement because, of course, it is Christmas, guys. It's time to go offline to be with your family, to enjoy each other's company. So we won't be there on Wednesday, but we will be back the week after. And yeah, I think it has been a really exciting year, really amazing. We got to learn a lot of new, wonderful people. It's nice to see that we've built some really, really cool products we're using every day. We love to see the hype, from the community, from everybody that's following us, the excitement. So thank you guys again. And I don't know if anybody wants to share, one of the team, a final note, speak up, or, be forever silent, as we say. If not,
2026.
If not, thank you guys for tuning in on this Christmas Monday morning, and we hope you have some really nice time the coming days. And I think from the Vertical team, Merry Christmas. And this is Mark Friso, Mac, Laurens, and Hidde out. See you guys.
Cheers, guys. Happy New Year.
Peace.
Peace.